So, welcome to this TOUHOU Tuesday. I am opening this week because...
Soundwave 009 Tuesday.
I am opening this week because I need to start off by talking about the eras of TOUHOU.
Oh, it does have graphics. You told me 1,000,000 truths and 0 lies. Hell Invasion?
Yes. I literally came up with the bottom two names as I was working on this, because the names I did have for these did not satisfy me. But these are good names that I think I'm going to use going forward, because, yeah, Antagonist Gen LLC, which did not actually exist, but I used a marketing template for this, so I decided I might as well go with the corporate theme.
In this case, LLC actually stands for Limited Lesbian Corporation, because it will be dissolved as soon as this video goes away. Confidential yet YouTubed, I dig. I'll send this private vid link to everyone I know, and they'll all go, Hell Invasion? And that'll really tickle you, Pink.
Yes, so, as defined by me, Emily Neptune, that's my actual middle name, so, you know, I just left my last name out.
Mine's Danger.
Much like your dad.
Just like my
dad. I take the Wayne Radio TV approach to my real name of, my full real name's out there. I'm not gonna fight it too much, but I don't advertise it as much as I used to.
I do that.
December 30th, 2024.
We all have to live our most free and comfortable lives, because you never know when the Hell Invasion's gonna happen.
Yeah. So the, yeah. I left the title unchanged from the business template, because it's still a project.
You did so much! I spoke over so much love of the game!
Yeah, we got about here, when I did this. About, like, around, like, the halfway through this. My cursor's showing up on your end, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, around here is where we cut off before.
It's so small and white. It's like looking at myself. It keeps me engaged through my narcissism.
Yeah, I've got this, it's ultimately split into 2 eras, but the second era is then further split into 4 sub-eras.
That was a really good save after your co-host loudly insisted he was small and white. I wouldn't have known how to deal with that either. Holy shit, Reimu looked like a Moe blob. This was a Clanad game. Nice.
Yeah, the PC98 art looks slightly more competent than the early Windows art, and I realized at some point, oh, it's because the pixels are kind of hiding the problems.
It's because the pixels are my friend, but the brushstrokes are a godless watercolor adjacency.
Yeah. Of course, then I've got this girl, the one girl who's not drawn by Zune on this page.
Looks like you. You and your big-ass neck collars.
The PC98, ambiguously canon, different characters and different designs for the usual characters, like Reimu had purple hair and a more normal Miko outfit. It was the first 5 games. Responsive to prayers.
She wasn't so severely stained with mustard.
The story of Eastern... She actually didn't even get the mustard for the first couple Windows games. The first couple Windows games, there's no mustard. Assuming you mean the tie, of course.
As long as couple literally means a couple in this instance, she still had her mustard stain for the majority of those games, so you're okay.
Yeah, she gets the mustard stain in Imperishable Night, I think, which is 8.
For half of them. You're on thin ice. Just kidding, I can't do anything.
Yeah, actually, she might have gotten it in Immaterial and Missing Power. It's hard to remember, because that one wasn't drawn by Zune, so I wasn't paying as much attention.
Make sure to comment below your favorite time you got a sauce stain on your human body. Don't even talk about TOUHOU, talk about sauce.
Highly responsive to prayers, Story of Eastern Wonderland, Phantasmagoria of Dim Dot Dream, Lotus Land Lore Story, Mystic Square.
Are there like spin-off titles in here? God, there's a lot of TOUHOU games. I guess it's been some years, right?
Yeah. Spin-off games did not start until 7.5 Immaterial and Missing Power.
And they're listed in all these dope pics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Directly in order, and I just barely couldn't get this one to fit, so I just added another one.
I'm gonna be doing Touhou Tuesday until I'm bones, and then some years longer.
I just find it as starting in 96, even though the first one didn't even come out until 97, because the previews for the first one came out in 96.
$1996. This is some years older than me, and I'm still like 700 years old.
Zune was like 19 when this started.
That's actually incredible.
Yeah. I actually learned something about this break.
Dedication to women with all sorts of magical powers.
Yeah. I learned something about this break. Apparently during this break, Zune got a job at fucking TOUHOU.
What's TOUHOU?
The video game company? Like, they made, like, fucking a whole bunch of classic arcade games?
I told you I'm small and white. I can't reach the cabinets of arcade games. I have to stand outside and look in through the windows and hope someone buys my matchsticks.
I'm sending the tab to TOUHOU.
Oh, they're a building.
Yeah, they're the best known.
Its parent company is Square Enix, I see.
Yeah, and they need Space Invaders and Bubble Bobble.
Okay.
And Arkanoid, but Arkanoid's just a breakout clone, so whatever.
It's also the only one of those links you've ever clicked besides Sega, so I guess it's not so irrelevant.
The reason I clicked on it is because for some reason, the Wikipedia page for Touhou described Touhou 1 as having Arkanoid-style gameplay. Even though it's Touhou 1 and Arkanoid are both based on Breakout.
Arkanoid sends simultaneously like a tummy trouble reliever and a brand new kind of laser gun.
Funny enough, Arkanoid I've actually played, because I had it on, I had Alleyway on the original Game Boy, and Alleyway was just rebranded Arkanoid.
The company was founded by Michael Kogan as the Taito Trading Company. That's insane. What's he doing over there? That's nowhere near Albuquerque.
A Ukrainian entrepreneur who founded the Japanese video game company Taito.
Unfortunately, we found the most interesting man in the world.
Yeah. Reminds me, when I was learning about Sonic Extreme, the Sega Saturn Sonic game that never came out, they went through two directors, and the first director is, like, fascinatingly multinational. His name was Michael Kosaka, so, you know, that's English first name, Japanese last name. And he was working at Sega of America, which, you know, implies that, you know, he's, like, maybe Japanese-American. But all of his, like, employees, like, again, all these, like, white people who worked for him at Sega of America always referred to him as Kosaka-san.
I'm glad that there can be respect in the world.
It's just fascinating that this guy's, like, so aggressively Japanese-American.
I'm glad when people don't have to surrender aspects of themselves to help make things like Bubble Bobble, you know? Like, Alan Wake 2 is a way better game than Alan Wake 1 so much because it's insanely more finished. But that's a whole different convoluted timeline presentation. Show me the Touhous.
Yeah.
God, I cannot believe this. There's so many colors in this.
Yeah.
I haven't had to look away for Subway Surfers reasons at all.
Yeah, it's the Era 2.1 Windows, which is not to be confused with the greater Windows era that it's part of. 2002 to 2005, so the 6th through 9.5 games. It's the beginning of modern Touhou. That's all you can really say about this era. Not to say that these games are, like, bad or anything. These are actually, like, a whole bunch of classic games. It's just that they're not really connected in any way.
Dude, I was looking at a Lethal Company mod earlier for that first poster there, what with the Ronald McDonald girl. And I looked at that list of the Lethal Company mods for the first Vampire game, the first Windows game, and I was like, oh, literally every character in this game is, like, iconic. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting that
and the same goes for 7 and 8. 7 and 8 are also literally every character in this game is ludicrously iconic.
Imagine if they kept it with the Bubble Bobble mines, my gosh. Yeah. Take a risk, make some true art. Doesn't matter how much a break you need to take, find yourself and find your heart. You can always make Cherno, no matter the age. And God, there were a lot of ages even after Cherno. Life goes on.
Yeah, and we're going to be focusing a lot on Touhou 8 today. Because what we're going to be doing after this.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be cash. I messaged Emily, and I hope this is as funny as the sheer intensity of the premise. I was like, what's up with these insanely violent women and their fancy clothes? And she was like, oh, you've never asked me a better question.
Yeah, it's... Oh yeah, the episode 4 hasn't actually gone up yet, so you haven't seen the fun thing I did with that.
Yeah, I watch them when they go up with my gal pals so she can go, ah, that's sweet, honey. Do you want to do something else? I don't actually like that, but I like the idea that TOUHOU's an oddity in my life that others endure.
Yeah, then we
that
get
woman has a cowboy hat.
Ish, I guess. Oh no, this one, yeah, this one, absolutely cowboy hat. I thought you were talking about this one for a second. Oh, this girl. This one's not a woman. This is another one of the characters who is... This character, the girl with the glasses, is another one of the very few characters who is very explicitly underage. She's specifically a high schooler.
Best of luck. That's not an easy thing to be. Especially in a world where they shoot bullets at you hundreds every day.
Sumireko's... We'll get to her in a second. But yeah, first the Faith arc, which is... the only thing just really separating Windows from the Emily age is the fact that the Faith arc exists. And is its own thing. It's an overarching storyline, but it's admittedly kind of a really basic one that doesn't really do much with the premise of it being an overarching storyline. It's just that Touhou 10's conflict leads to 11s, which leads to 12s, which leads to 13s, which leads to 13.5s. And 13.5 is the only spin-off that really involves this. All the other spin-offs don't really involve themselves in the ongoing story. Because the thing is, the Touhou 10 is like, oh, these new people move into Gensokyo from the outside world, including Sanai. And then Touhou 11 is like, oh, the new people tried to build a nuclear reactor. That went well eventually. It didn't go well at first. And then 12 is like, oh, turns out the nuclear shit that happened in 11 disturbed this conspiracy that's been going on for generations. And 13 is like, oh, this conspiracy was actually involved with another conspiracy that's now waking up. And then 13.5 is like, yeah, so it turns out, like, the two women who led the conspiracies of 12 and 13 kind of had a daughter, sort of. And she stopped the shit.
Inheritor of the Illuminati.
No, not really. She's just kind of around. She doesn't really care about any of that shit.
I've always thought the less one engages with conspiracy, the better.
Yeah.
But in an emergency, there is no problem that can't be solved with a proportionately hard punch.
Touhou 13's girl is also implicitly trans.
That's awesome. Good work.
For, Fate Stay Night reasons of literally a historical figure as a woman. And is explicitly said, oh yeah, they were a man. Were.
It's very sweet. Good on them. I hope they don't get hundreds of bullets shot at them. Though they will.
I call era 2-3 of 2013 to 2018, game 14 to game 16.5. I call it the Emily age because it pretty much exactly coincides with when I got into Touhou. Like, game 14 came out and it's like, oh, the Faith arc's finally over. And then like a month later, that's when I started getting into Touhou. So I get into Touhou right here.
You got out of the year of the Mayan apocalypse and you were like, hold on, I gotta live more properly and play largely untranslated video games.
Well, they were actually largely translated at that point, because like the fandom community for translating has always been around. They weren't necessarily translated the best, and they definitely weren't translated officially, but there were definitely translations, and they were getting better around this time.
How many JoJo references are actually in the official text? Who knows, really?
Oh no, we absolutely know for sure that there were absolutely plenty of JoJo references in the official 6 game specifically.
Hallelujah, Buffman fans. This is the series for you.
For some reason, Zune made so many JoJo references in Game 6, and then not really again. Yeah, like the Windows era, there's nothing really tying it together much, but there are two big exceptions to tying things together. One, Touhou 15 is kind of a belated sequel, and Touhou 15 here is kind of a belated sequel to Touhou 8. A number of ways.
Very belated.
Yeah. Game 8 came out 2004, and Game 15 came out 2015.
Oh my god, you're running out of
so many
TOUHOU
games
music.
between them.
Oh, it's back. Never mind.
Yeah, I have an endless looping going on. And game
Like the
14...
universe.
Game 14.5 introduced Sumireko Usami, who kind of was a major focus throughout the Emily age. She's still getting some attention in the whole
Huge
nation.
glasses.
Yeah, Sumireko Usami is a fun character because she's just this high schooler from the outside world who isekais into Gensokyo in her dreams with her psychic powers.
Like on purpose, or is this a scary reoccurring accident?
It's somewhat
Oh, nice.
both. Also,
it is tough to be a high schooler, huh? You
Yeah,
don't
it-
even know sometimes.
it's somewhat both. Also, brainwashing might have been involved at some point or another. It's hard to tell.
Who's putting go to scary realm full of monsters in this kid's head? Stop it. Get some help. Oh my god, that woman
Sumireko's
has huge horns.
yeah.
The woman's got huge horns just like the awful penis monster from Fear and Hunger. Oh wait, no, those were dicks on its head. Never mind. I'll send you a picture of that guy later. You'll like it.
I'll put it in the edit.
With
So-
big black bars.
The Hell Invasion of 2019 to present, or Game 17 to present, returned to an overarching storyline, but I think this one's doing it much better than the Faith arc did. Because, one, the spin-offs that have come out so far have actually been consistently keeping up with the storyline, and two, everything's more like, oh yeah, this actually feels like a proper sequel rather than a half-assed, oh, it kind of relates to the last game.
The degree to which Blondie at the bottom left there looks like one-to-one as Setter's former's younger sister is blowing my mind.
Yeah,
she
I can totally see
graduated
that.
Hololive and immediately went to hell. That sucks, man. That is not an upgrade.
Well, she was introduced in 2019, so this is before.
She left hell in the invasion to join Hololive.
Yeah, because this actually, it wasn't even clear that this was a new era at first. Like, this is like, Game 17 came out, Game 18 came out, kind of was doing a different thing. This is Game 18, not like that, excuse me. Game 17, Game 18 came out,
I
so it wasn't its own
forgive
thing.
you.
And
Do 10 Hail Marys. You'll be okay.
17.5 had to do with 17, 18.5 had to do with 18, but they mostly seemed like they were still mostly doing their own thing. And then Game 19 came out last year and tied them both 17 and 18 together, and it's like, oh, we're doing a whole storyline now, okay.
Game 19 is a pretty chill color. I like looking at that. Kind of looks like a fungal infestation, one of my favorite sites, much to the chagrin of literally everyone I've ever known and will know.
The storyline going on here is fascinating. So, Hell in Touhou is weird. We actually started talking about Hell all the way back in Game 11. Back when we...
I'm
that
always
game,
thinking about hell. They raised me wrong.
that game takes place primarily in Old Hell, which is the place where Hell used to be before El Hell moved.
The Futurama New Yorking. That's awesome.
And so, Game 17 is when we start engaging with, well, we kind of get to it Hell a bit in Game 15. But Game 17 is when
Jesus,
we really
it's
start
that bad?
messing. Yeah, Game 17 is when we really start fucking around with Hell. There's, Reimu and my son, everyone else gets, like, these animal spirits show up in Gensokyo and are causing trouble, but they also, like, are asking for help, so they decide to go down to help, but it kind of becomes clear that the animal spirits aren't what they seem. It mostly turns out that Hell is a fucking organized crime hellscape run by, like, mafias made up of different animals.
Oh, I cannot get enough of this idea instantly.
Yeah. And then Touhou 18 was, like, about capitalism. And then Touhou 19 is all about, like, oh, yeah, the capitalism thing kind of, like, left an opening for, like, the Hell stuff to, like, try and make a full invasion of Gensokyo.
You gotta punch real hard to tie back the forces of hell.
And then 19 ended with, like, the villains being like, we'll get you next time, Reimu, and running away.
Team
Which
rocketing all
implies,
the
and
way
it's
to
like,
a
the
restraining
villains are again
order.
the same villains from Touhou 17, so...
There's Dickhead, Fauna, and Cowboy Hat, or are those just cute girls?
All three of them are the villains in question. They are these are the three big, mob bosses in Hell. Yuma
It's over.
Tosetsu,
Crime's done.
Saki Kurokoma, and Yachi Akicho.
I may remember those names one day.
Yeah, probably at some point, but not yet. Yes, Saki is immediately the most memorable because yeehaw.
The old Kurta clan eyes. A lot of emotions for that sick cowboy hat. That's fine leather, that's crested. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so
It's illegal, it's legitimate. Damn criminal.
And so, yeah, these are the arcs. The 2024, I also realized, not only is it one of the handful of years with no Touhou releases whatsoever, it's also, like, that's just in terms of games, but in terms of everything ever, 2024 has actually probably been the most barren year for Touhou content ever. Since, 2001.
They should... Don't worry.
Because,
we started our Touhou series. We did it.
Yeah.
We're that year.
Like, everything else has been, every other year is like, oh yeah, maybe only 1 or 2 or even 0 games came out, but, a number of, manga chapters or, anthologies came out. This one we've got, 3 manga chapters the entire year, and that's kind of it, apparently.
Are you seeing the goddamn absurd pace of release there in the Faith arc?
Yeah.
I was gonna say before I saw this literally here's when the games came out that it's an absurd pace. Was this 9 games? I don't know. Even
1, 2,
more
3,
across 6 years. It's not even 6
9.
years.
1, 2, 3,
No, it is
4,
9.
5, 6, 7 years. Yeah.
We're just shooting these out of a cannonball at people. They were coming hard and fast.
Game 10, Mountain of Faith. Game 11, Subterranean Animism. No, not Game 11. Game 10.5, double spoiler. Game 11, Subterranean Animism.
Oh, spoiler.
Yeah.
It was
that's a sequel to the photography game.
The whole time. Oh, nice.
It's 11, Subterranean Animism. Right to 12, Undefined Fantastic Object. And 12.3, Hiso Tensoku, which is fascinating little thing there. Every Touhou game has this title formula of, it's Touhou, Japanese subtitle, English subtitle. The full name is the Japanese subtitle and the English subtitle together. Even in the original Japanese, that's the full name, involves the English subtitle. In the West, we usually just use the English subtitle, because that's easier, but the Japanese subtitle is still part of the name. Hiso Tensoku doesn't have an English subtitle for some reason, so we just call it Hiso Tensoku. That's the only game that...
English fans.
Yeah, Hiso Tensoku is the only game where they just forgot to do an English subtitle. And then 12.5, which was, which one was it?
English subtitle is my middle name.
No, this was double spoiler, excuse me. 10.5 was, Scarlet with a Rhapsody. Why that was, then...
You know what? This time I don't forgive you. Do 15 Hail Marys.
Yeah, this one's double spoiler, the sequel to Shoot the Bullet. Then 12.8, The Great Fairy Wars.
I love the sound of that. I forgive you now.
That game is a game about Shirno getting into a fight with some other fairies. It's adorable. They destroyed her house.
Oh, it's pretty high stakes. They didn't even kick down her sound castle. They blew up her fucking home. That's crazy. Really substantial.
And then 11 is 10 Desires, and 13 is 10 Desires, and 13.5 is Hopeless
Desires.
Masquerade.
Number 1. A nice sandwich with some sharp cheese in it. I'll think of 9 more desires later.
Yeah. Game 14, which was, again, a month old when I started getting into Touhou, is Double Dealing Character. Then,
DDC.
Yeah, DDC. I noticed when DDLC started getting popular, I was like,
I was like, I'm in acronym heck. I won't say hell lest they invade.
And then 14.3, Impossible Spell Card, which is a game where you're cheating.
Oh.
The whole point of the game is that the game would be impossible if you weren't literally cheating at it.
Oh, like in battle. I was like, oh, she was in a relationship.
And not like
the whole
Love
time,
Actually,
and it's
like
breaking apart.
Not like Love Actually.
In Love Actually, the movie that created the premise of being unfaithful and just really dreadful.
And then 14.5.
It's way post Christmas. It's almost time to watch Love Actually.
I actually already watched Love Actually. Christmas Eve with my family.
This is the first Touhou Tuesday that'll end with me killing myself on video.
We can watch it again easily. I actually was only half watching because we watched it on my grandfather's TV, and he's got like fucking. It was like weird 60 FPS interpolacing. It looked fucking weird.
I hate frames.
Yeah.
I hate movies.
Like it looked AI generated, even though it's the same movie I've seen a million times. And Touhou 14.5, Urban Legend in Limbo, which introduced Sumireko. And 15...
the Urban Legend in Limbo.
And 15, the sequel to Aid, Perishable Night, Legacy in Lunatic Kingdom, the Clown Piece game.
All of that is my middle name.
And then,
And then two of the same image.
Check again, I'm forgetting if there was a game between there.
Look at these Final Fantasy-ass posters in the middle here. In between your Saya no Uda soundtrack albums.
Yeah, the 15.5, Antimony of Common Flowers. Which is actually so far the most recent fighting game, which is shocking, because, like, Urban Legend in Limbo is also a fighting game, and that, there's so close a gap, and there's so many fighting games before then. It's been so long since we got a fighting game.
The next one will be a Shrek Super Slam send-up, so look forward to that. Manifesting.
And then, 16, Hidden Star in 4 Seasons. And,
Where?
16.5, Violet Detector. This is the third photography game, this time starring Sumireko.
I'm so glad that there's more photography games here. Yeah. They're all standing shoulder to shoulder with Life is Strange.
And to 17, Wily Beast and Weakest Creature.
And, gotta catch that Roadrunner.
And 17.5, Sunken Fossil World. And, 18 is a good game, but it has my least favorite title in all of Touhou, Unconnected Marketeers. It's just like, man, that is not interesting.
Here's a bunch of people that make money for other people and they don't interact.
Like, it makes sense, because that kind of is what the game's about. The game's about kind of a whole bunch of people trying to do capitalism, but it's just kind of, it doesn't have that snap to it. I would have subtitled a good game
that you should buy if I was selling it.
It doesn't have the snap to it that most Touhou titles do. 18.5, 100th Black Market. And 19, Unfinished Dream of All Living Ghost.
The 100th Black Market, huh? they fucked that up 99 times and they're still rolling. Maybe they exist concurrently, I don't know. As a child, I believed that every black market literally physically existed somewhere and that the police just had to go find it in the city. And then the same criminals would break out of jail and make a new one, and the police would be like, we'll get you. You know, when I was a stupid child, I believed the police performed actions.
As far as I can remember, 100 Black Market and Fairy Wars are the only two games that Marisa is in, but Reimu isn't.
Does that make her show up more than Reimu in like a franchise scale broadly?
No, Reimu still has one game over Marisa in that regard. Because Marisa wasn't even introduced until the second game, Story of Eastern Wonderland.
Yet another cringe Marisa fail.
I think there's a couple other games. I know there's a couple other games, I just can't remember which ones, without Marisa. Spin-offs, of course.
Like that one completely unportrayable recommendation we got the first time we looked up Touhou on the website. Item free line 1. Such a screen grab of that we can't even put in the video. More big black bars? It only gets better! I can't get enough of Milady Dickhead and her huge horns. What's she, like, happy about? I can pick you up by the horns and throw you anywhere. You have such a
No, you
glaring
can't.
handlebars weakness. I can do anything I put my mind to.
She's a dragon mob boss lady. From hell.
Maybe if she wanted me to pick her up by the horns and hurl her around like the kid in Matilda, maybe then it'd be possible.
Just remembered I should have set my status.
Status. Not single. Still mingling, just platonically. Mingling.
Yes, that is the eras of TOUHOU defined.
That lady with the moldy cauliflower hair looks like she's carrying a Mafregan-type printer blade.
I can see that.
It's a lot of vast elaborations to a character's identity to keep speed with. Good work.
The lady with cauliflower hair is a lady you've mentioned before. She's the lady who is astounded at things not being, or at things being retro.
Well, that's why she's got the knife. To punish people. Shrine Maiden Convention 2024. I don't know. That'd be messed up. You put these free girls here, left to right, and the room the other. I don't know what had happened. Oh god, it's so silent now.
That's because I'm about to switch.
Switch! Does 15 Hail Marys transforms magical girl style? Into the same person, but with less weight on my shoulders. Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
First things first. It's a Binding of Isaac pill on that woman's head, so that's great.
Ah. I cannot resize the window at all, so I'm playing it at this size.
It's exactly the right size for me. So it's an easy time to be June, which is also my middle name.
I'm going to switch up my scenes.
You can do it. You can do anything you put your mind to, including changing the scenes in your videos.
Yes, okay. So, as I mentioned in our chat before stream started, to explain fully the deal with Mokou and Kaguya, those freaks, I have to get into ancient Japanese folklore as very important context. Although, not just any...
Tuesday 5, the elaboratory one. Oh, please.
Not just any ancient Japanese folklore. The ancient Japanese folklore that is often cited as one of the oldest science fiction stories in the world. So you might recall that in Chiramiru I mentioned aliens.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Have you ever heard of the Tale of the Bamboo Cutter?
Not even once. Not even a little.
That is actually surprising me. I was expecting you might.
I am extremely uneducated. It's part of my charm.
So ancient
Non-threatening.
Ancient Japanese story that is often cited as one of the oldest science fiction stories in the world. There's some guy whose job is to cut bamboo. Then one day, he's cutting bamboo, and he finds a baby in it. He's like, what? Where
That's
does this...
small baby, man.
I think it was like a really big piece of bamboo.
Like 2 inches lower. Oh, it was a big piece of bamboo. I guess things were different back then.
He's like, where the hell did this baby come from? But, you know what, nobody's around to claim it, so he decides to, adopt it, to take care of it. And she ends up growing up into this...
Get away with anything back then.
She ends up being named Princess Kaguya, or Kaguya Hime. And she grows up into this, extremely beautiful, beautiful woman, the most beautiful woman in the world. Does turn out that she is a alien from the moon. She's a princess from the moon who is sent to Earth and has just been raised as a normal human, but she's an alien from the moon. And
this is Clark Kent. This is Clark Kent's backstory. This is Superman. I love this.
In a sense, yeah. I wonder if maybe Kaguya Hime might have been a tiny little bit of inspiration for Clark Kent.
I can only hope
Kaguya
so.
Hime is thousands of years older than Superman, because Superman only dates back to the 1930s. This dates about thousands of years. So Kaguya is, like, stunningly, otherworldly beautiful. So, like, every man in Japan wants her hand in marriage. But her standards are, of course, impossibly high. So she creates a series of trials that any man must complete in order to ask for her hand in marriage.
Even to ask.
Yeah. And her special Joker's trick is that the 7 tasks are literally completely impossible. Partially because she's already done them. Like, so one of them's like, oh, bring me this special branch. The branch is in her possession already.
It's gonna take a tricky mind.
Yeah, in TOUHOU, Kaguya Hime is still alive after all these millennia because she drank a immortality elixir. And also Lunarians are just longer lived than humans in general.
I'll tell you that, humans. Freaking idiots.
And she's just kind of hiding out in Gensokyo. But she's not the only one hiding out in Gensokyo. See, there was one man in particular who wanted Kaguya's hand in marriage, named Fujiwara something or other. He was like a very powerful noble, but he was like so desperately in love with Kaguya that he basically ruined his life trying to complete Kaguya's challenges. Kaguya did not care. Because, you know...
I love seeing Silp. Sucker idolizing legendary pussy. I like to support women whenever I can. Which is always.
So here's the thing about Fujiwara, though, is he already had a family. In particular, he had a daughter named Mokou. And Mokou fucking hates Kaguya for ruining her father's life. And she also has taken the immortality elixir. And they have spent the last thousands of years trying to kill each other. Well, really, mostly just Mokou trying to kill Kaguya. Kaguya doesn't really care. Kaguya does not hate Mokou nearly as much as Mokou hates Kaguya.
It's all Dad's fault. Since the dawn of time, it's been Dad's fault. It's always someone's dad's fault. Damn it.
It should be noted, the way the immortality elixir works is, it's not, oh, you can't die, it's, oh, if you die, you come back.
Oh, well, that's the funnest way for it to work. That's
yeah, so there's, it's always like, oh yeah, they died horribly, they'll be back. Also, at some point along the way, Mokou got, like, Phoenix powers.
Yeah. I mean, you know what happens. Everyone's gotta find out who they are, little coming-of-age journey, so you can shoot fireballs just out of your eyeballs, Parasite Eve style.
There's also a third character who's drinking this immortality elixir, Eren Yakokoro, who is this nurse, doctor lady who lives with Kaguya. It is also a Lunarian. And she may or may not also be a goddess from Shinto mythology. It's very much, there's a very slight implication. And she's the one who created the elixir in the first place. She, much like Mokou, has extremely white hair. The fucking hilarious bit of TOUHOU lore I learned literally yesterday, because this was literally just this year that this bit of lore came out. Apparently the reason Mokou and Eren's hair is pure white is because they're just old. They just have old lady hair. Like, yes, they don't age anymore, except for the hair. Their hair still ages. Now, that leads people to ask, wait, why doesn't Kaguya have white hair? And so the four things that people have suggested are, 1, Lunarians just age differently than humans, and she's younger than Eren, so, you know, whatever. 2, just dyes her hair, which is the funny option. Option 3, the really funny option, is she's bald and wearing a wig. And 4 is,
I can make her bald, I can do that.
She has the power to manipulate eternity, so maybe she's manipulated the eternity of her hair color?
I have queries.
Yes.
And they're important. Okay. Eren's an immortal ex-Lunarian nurse, right? That's a kindly profession, generally.
Not ex-Lunarian, because Lunarian's a species.
Right, but no longer there nor agreeable to the ambitions of the Lunarians' mega racism.
Yeah. They're at the very least, Aaron and Kagi are at the very least better than the leaders of the Lunarians.
What? Why don't they do something about it if they're so immortal?
They're hiding from the Lunarians.
Cowards!
The reason they're in Gezuko is because they don't want the Lunarians to find them. They're fugitives.
Oh, they should do something about it. Someone should do something about it.
Because they were, like, extremely important in Lunarian politics before they fucking ran away.
They could make a change up there on the moon. But I'm glad that they have their fun dad fight down on Earth forever, and also the cool wigs.
Yeah, the Kaguya Mokou is a very fascinating part of the shipping community. Like, very much the biggest boon to the Toxicuri community TOUHOU has.
I'm literally... There's this one extremely good House MD post, like every other good House MD post. Wilson's recommending that the patient receives regular and sustainable increments of, like, queer representation in media. And House MD comes storming, and he's like, no! She needs Toxicuri to live!
I'd seen it as, oh, she needs queer baiting to live.
Dude, either or. Maybe both.
Yeah.
The patient will die without queer baiting. Honestly, I feel that way often. Anytime I see people being, like, happily gay in media, I'm like, this is too normal.
I am very much a big fan of both. Yeah,
God, that is substantial boob and pit.
Yeah, second biggest boon to the Toxicuri community in TOUHOU is, interestingly, introduced in TOUHOU 14, the game that came out a month before I got into TOUHOU. The villain and her henchman in that game have, something going on. Believe it or not, the henchman is the one who's more toxic.
That seems like a betrayal of the intended order of things, much like I wish Aaron and Kaguya would perform onto the Lunarian government's standing officers.
It makes too much sense in context. It's a very believable sort of toxicity to their relationship.
Ooh, this isn't like cute girls killing each other forever. There's so much blood on this dad girl.
There's very much political exploitation going on in TOUHOU 14 between the henchman and her employer. We'll get to that someday.
For now, I want to see this slick, like, fully 5 minutes of this girl dying violently. What we have... Oh, she seems boingy. I wonder how much this straight controls like Super Meat Boy. Yeah. This is the start of, like,
I've never actually played Super Meat Boy for real, so I'm wondering.
Is this
I'm also noticing,
free or something? I
was also noticing in the, when I was, like, checking out this game, is the Danganronpa blood to replace the meat splatter?
I'm just happy to see blood at all. I played way too much Super Meat Boy, man. It's like almost difficult to bring up within the confines of TOUHOU Tuesday, right? But I'm looking at... Welcome to Meat Boy. Have fun.
I was aware this would be the risk going in.
It's good. You were really close to the solution, if you want to know.
Yeah, I think I have an idea of what the solution might be. Ooh, I think I might have gone into... There we go. Ah.
I could see it in my mind's eye, you know, all of it.
I just realized... we haven't really changed music that much, because this song is a remix of the song we were already listening to.
I mean, that's cool. It's like a cool outcome for the video where the thumbnail is every fucked up edit of Kaguya I've ever made. Bald, Jokerized.
There's already so many bald Kaguya edits.
Oh,
literally, when I saw the thing about that, was people. Like the main thing I was seeing about that was, oh my god, the bald Kaguya edits are real.
Do you want me to suggest?
No, I think the issue is my hand-eye coordination. Really, I think I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just not doing it.
Hey, you got it, bud. That's it. You're the winner of this year's Christmas pudding. I can do this, by the way. This in real life. In Meat Boy, no, I don't know how to jump. I don't know how to beat that game. I never learned how to jump.
Getting the hang of how the actual physics work. Like, I know what it's supposed to look like, I'm having trouble executing it.
Yeah, you're all good. It's the work of a lifetime. Or a death time, in that case. Whose skulls are these?
Probably,
Made
Moko's.
this nasty house. Oh, wow. People are just leaving her remains around. I suppose you harden yourself to this sort of thing after long enough. You know, you can play Steve Minecraft in the PC port of Super Meat Boy. No, maybe the Xbox version. Yeah, you get Head Crab in the PC version. Steven Minecraft breaks that game in half, man. He's got, like, cheat codes. He's like a TOUHOU all by himself. He just pulls the block out of the stage. You can just walk around stuff. He'd get Kaguya. Steven Minecraft, he'd deal with the Lunarian problem.
Ooh,
hey, good
that
work.
was nice.
Yeah, it was sick.
Oh, fuck.
Report. Oh. I'm jazzed to see a Meat Boy.
Cool.
Borat voice. Hey, very nice.
Yeah,
This is pretty nice music. This is remixy?
Yeah.
That's chill.
It's basically a remix of the song we were listening to before the game started. Oh, there we go. Yes! Yes, yes, yes!
Oh, this one looks easy.
TOUHOU 8's actually fascinating because every game has a different problem, or as the physics terminology is incident. The apparent, like, TOUHOU 8 has a fake incident.
What?
So, like,
It's a tricky?
as far as most of the people of Gensokyo are aware, the incident is that night won't end. It has been night for, like, 3 days now. And so everybody's like, why the fuck won't night end? Reimu fucking fix this. The funny thing is, Reimu actually did the night thing to cover up the real incident, which is the moon. Fuck, somebody fucking despicable me'd the moon.
They took it. They took it away.
Yeah.
I tell you, if they put it into one of these sword blades, I'd be sleeping easy those nights.
Yeah, like Reimu fucking did the night thing to make things, to cover up the moon thing that's actually going on, and also to give them more time, because they can only really do this experimenting at night, so let's give them more time to do their investigating. I can't do my dash anymore. It's not letting me do my dash.
You get one per time you're in the air. Restores when you touch ground again. Wow, you're getting real good at that.
There we go.
Hey, nice stuff.
Now what the fuck do I do
That
here?
is going to be hard. Run and pray. I won. Well, you've got this down pat.
Yeah, the bee hopping I'm getting good at. Well, maybe.
I tell you, water wall might help you build some more speed. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's less reliable. Yes!
Oh!
There we
Easy
go.
yes. Second try, that's banging.
Yeah.
This is the one they expose as this will kill you 1 trillion times on the darnableitch.io page. One. You get a little bit of coyote time.
Of course, it turns out the people who actually stole the moon were, of course, Eren and Kaguya. They were trying to find a way to get the moon off their backs forever, so they stole it.
Still all about them.
And they hid it in their basement, because, shut up.
That's a big basement.
Ayante, the place they live, has a very fucked up architecture, like fucked up Unreal Cthulhu-ass architecture, but still. It's also in a place called the Bamboo Forest of the Lost. Mokou is like the only person who can navigate that fucking forest. Anybody else, even if you walk in a straight direction, you will still somehow end up exactly where you started.
I wonder who put her in the bamboo.
I wonder.
I hope this comes up one day when they turn the moon into a free and democratic society. So how are you liking Super Meat Boy?
It's, I'm having trouble getting the hang of it, but, you know, I knew what it was going in.
It's good, just like Meat Boy, the pants match.
This is a very good idea for a character to use for a Super Meat Boy type thing.
Generated. I really like that little animation where they come back together, like...
Yeah.
This one seems ridiculous. Ridiculously fun! You got it. You're gonna get this on the first try.
Yes!
See, I knew it.
Oh, I thought for a second that was just gonna kill me.
Just screw you for entering the room.
Okay, cannot dash up. Good to know.
It's so many skulls, and they're giving you the wicked sus eye.
Oh,
dude, nice.
yeah.
Yeah, that was chill. Oh. Are you a Zen individual?
Oh, maybe it's a dash into this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's full Celeste.
What did that
Die
do?
to make it come back!
Oh.
That's funny.
Also, a fun trend of Touhou is that penultimate bosses keep coming back as playable characters. As in, that is how almost every playable character exists. Literally, of the proper Touhou playable characters, there are exactly 3 who have never been a penultimate final boss. And those 3 are Reimu, Chirno, and Aya. And Chirno is justified by the fact that she's a fan-favorite character. And Aya is justified by the fact that she's Zun's personal favorite character, and also already got her own series of spin-offs before she became a real playable character. And Reimu is just, like, you had to start with something. You can't have a penultimate boss in a game with no player character.
This room is the one that will fail you. It can't be done. How'd she get the Phoenix powers? Did she just, like, eat bird at some point there?
I really don't remember. There was actually another character who got
she probably doesn't
powers
remember either. She's really old.
The final boss of Subterranean Animism got powers in a very similar way. She was just a normal crow until she ate Yatagarasu. And then she became the new god of the sun.
Intense consumption.
And so now she became the new god of the sun. This is the crow woman we discussed that you mentioned in Roku to the Robot. The bird woman.
The nuclear woman.
Yeah. She was just a normal crow until she ate Yatagarasu.
I wish I could have such a rapid escalation. I'd love to still be Toei doing Touhou Tuesday, but also famously I could cast Fireball. Pretty stuck on fireballs most days, especially today. Well, I thought this was a holly jolly Touhou twist. It actually can't be done. It's actually such a heightened degree of precise mechanical implementation. Mokou's frame-perfect immortality trick.
The reason I bring this pattern up is because, like, Marisa, she was introduced as the penultimate boss of Touhou 2, and then she came back as playable in 3, and then never stopped, and never left. Sakia, the Dio woman, was introduced as the penultimate boss of Touhou 6, and then she came back in Touhou 7 and Touhou 8, and just has been recurring ever since. Yomu Kenpaku was the penultimate boss of Touhou 7, and has been a recurring playable character ever since. Sanai Kochiya was the penultimate boss of Touhou 10, and has been a recurring playable character ever since. You'll notice that I skipped...
I'm a big fan of recruiting your foes.
Yeah,
big fan.
You'll notice that I skipped number 8. I also skipped number 9, but number 9's complicated, so forget it. I skipped number 8. Which is, the one that we were talking about. Touhou 8, the penultimate final boss, or the penultimate boss, was my beloved Reisu no Dongen Inaba. And it was like, man, why they stopped recruiting the bosses like just for Racing, and then came back for Sanai, and then kind of stopped again. And when is Racing finally got to get her justice? Touhou 15. Touhou 15 is when she finally got to be a playable character, which adds to the whole Touhou 15. Yeah, which adds to the whole Touhou 15 is Touhou 8's sequel thing. Because, like, oh, it's finally time for Racing to shine.
Hold on, bunny fans. Your day will come. And one day your people will be free. I love you. Don't you just want to give up?
And then Racing is still, so far, the most recent character to get the penultimate boss becomes playable character treatment. It's the group of main playable characters is Reimu, Marisa, Sakia, Yomu, Sanai, Racing, Aya, and Shirno.
Racing? Where's she going? Where's she going quickly? Like racing. That's why I wordplayed you.
The usual Racing wordplay people go for is raisins.
I'm a big fan of raisins. My favorite cookie is an oatmeal raisin cookie. I will die alone. These are related sentiments. I don't know, I'm just a dog motor, you know? There's princes and dogs. Princes want soup and affection and company and their terribleness. Me, I want to bury myself in a hole and die away from anyone else. I'm a dog motor. I remain hilariously injured while we play this extraordinarily violent Touhou title.
Fitting, because I am injuring my digital self.
There's no shame in surrendering the obscenely hard platformer. Take it from the pro of giving up. Kind of the Chris Angel of waving the white flag. Oh, the episode's expressed itself. It's the elaborative one.
True.
For a 1 million subscriber special, we will beat this room in this game.
And you will beat the... Like, we'll be doing we'll both be playing games at the same time. You'll be trying to beat that one room in Shirno's Lost Chiramiru.
You would beat this 400 hours faster than I would beat Chiramiru.
You were slowly making progress.
Way slower than this. I love that it has Celeste jump restoration points. Reattain your flame, Zen. Be chill about it.
also realized the other, like, a few hours ago how funny it is that one edit I just completely forgot to do, and, like, just did not even think to do in Shirano's Lost Jeremy Rue was, I went on such an extended discussion of who Renosuke is, I did not think to put a picture of Renosuke on screen. He's like one of the few guys who even know what he looks like for sure, and still I did not think to put a picture of him. So many of the other guys, we don't even know what they look like. We know what he looks like.
You know, they briefly sold a plushie of the Super Meat Boy Buzzsaws. I'm thinking after all this, that might make a nice gift for you. A little buzzsaw to get your face acquainted with in the game and out.
I got a box of Gushers today for Christmas.
I can't even think about Gushers. I used reddit.com too much. There's a truly despicable story about Gushers out there. I don't even want to befoul you with it. It'll actually make your day 100 times worse.
I can imagine. I was just singing Gushers are ruined because Homestuck.
Homestuck is moderately ruinous in most associations. The Reddit Gushers tales all the way disastrous.
This reminds me of things that... Speaking of things that a lot of people thought Touhou invented... Or not Touhou, a lot of things that people thought Homestuck invented. Fucking so many people thought Homestuck invented Faygo, which is so fucking funny to me as somebody from Detroit.
For a while there, I thought the Insane Clown Posse were like a faction that would emerge into the fiction. I was like, I can't wait to learn more about these guys. They've really motivated my favorite character, Gamzee Makara.
I mean, they kind of eventually did with the stuff with the stuff about them being elected president of the United States in the post-Scratch world.
As long as we're talking our Homestuck truths, Gamzee wasn't even my favorite character.
I'm a little I think John might have legit been my favorite. Ooh! That's something.
Experience a Zen loss already. Lose your motivation to continue existing.
Speaking of the Homestuck in Touhou, there's a funny thing that I like to think about a lot. Is I fucking... In 2012 or so, like pretty much immediately before I got into Touhou, there was this thing that happened called the Homestuck anime. That, even at the time, and especially in retrospect, people love to compare to all the Touhou anime that have happened. And how...
Including the Forbidden one.
The Touhou anime and the Homestuck anime are both very fascinating bits of fandom culture in very different ways, because Touhou fandom actually created multiple anime. That was a bad idea. Whereas the Homestuck fandom fabricated a alternate universe in which Homestuck was a anime instead of a webcomic. This is very fascinating to me. And then I got into Touhou and I actually got to experience the anime where... Do you know one of the fucking Touhou anime has literally professional voice actors in it?
That's pretty bang.
Fucking Aoi Yuki's in it.
Ooh, that's a name.
Madoka Kaname, Shuten Doji, Hideki Tachibana herself.
Whoa! I know Shuten Doji quite well.
You know all three of those women quite well.
Shuten Doji more intimately. I love this. You're discovering some more intricate movement mechanics of Super Meat Boy quite silently.
My brain is processing information slowly. Slowly but surely.
Could I tell you just one that I think you might like? Because I'm pretty sure you're there, but maybe having to put in words. Your jump's momentum continues to what would be the chronological end of your jump. So if you jump closer to a wall, you will slide up the wall as far as you would have made it. So you want to jump closer, probably using that totem pole as a note. And then jump hard once you reach the scary poles. Wait like 0.3 seconds and dash.
Okay. I keep hitting the shift by accident just because of how close it is to the key that I need.
I think I'm like seeing one of the secret mean tricks of this room, but I don't want to take away from your experience. As much as I think maybe this could also be next week's experience.
I'm not sure I would want to do that, but...
Well, either way, you've given yourself about a slick, bloodied hour of Touhou fun to video edit. So
True.
we may have to recall Mokou's fun time come the 1 million Touhou subscribers anime girl subscribe to our little YouTube channel moment. Do you know how many fucking people with Sympho Gear icons have subscribed to our goddamn channel since we started doing Touhou Tuesday? It's ridiculous.
Ooh.
I'm in love with all of them, normally.
Good thing I mentioned
now you're just killing
Tachibana.
yourself for fun. You're at the new scale of immortality. Just trying stuff out.
Yeah, I'm Groundhog Day in this. Like the bit where he has the toaster in the bathtub.
Well, I thought this was a good, gore-tastic, highly educational Touhou Tuesday, and it's been wonderful to see your hands on the controls. You picked up these extremely specific, scary game skills really fast. Ryan Laterno circa 11 years ago would be like, whoa, good work, kid. Back when he hadn't yet been hardened by having to listen to people talk in Twitch chats all day. Back when there was kindness left in his substitute teacherly soul. He wasn't even a substitute teacher, it was Germa. These guys are not Touhou characters, as far as I know anyway.
Yeah, as far as you know. Literally the other day I was just rewatching Germa owes the precious $2.5 billion.
That is a precious amount of money to owe. That'd stand out to me. That'd be on my mind.
I'm trying to find
Well,
the most
I'll play
efficient
you
way to kill
out while
myself
you
now.
explode bloodily. I enjoyed this.
It's like our Lethal Company
There's so
mods.
much... It is, and I'm happy with it. There's so much darnable Touhou in the world. Mm-hmm. Crick, crack, crunch, go your bones. I tell you, maybe Mokou can survive being in the infinite lost forest, because when it comes down to it, she can just eat herself, you know? You can be lost for way longer that way.
Yeah. The real issue is that she just knows... She's actually a pretty good guide, because she's the only person who knows her way around. But yeah.
Eating yourself as a regenerative immortal. It's a fascinating thought experiment. If I consumed a life elixir that gave me this particular funny kind of immortality, I'd do all sorts of gruesome experiments. I'd be like, will my matter return to myself through my mouth hole or just straight up explode out of my stomach? Let's find out! Maybe next week.
Goodbye,
Thank
our
you,
wonderful
Touhou
viewers.
fans. Jump into a buzzsaw. You'll see if you too are a dope immortal. Try it at home. Jump into a buzzsaw. Jump into a buzzsaw! Jump into a buzzsaw!
Just like this.
Yeah, hey, good work.
Oh, no, excuse me, excuse me. Just like this. No, I keep missing the... Just like this.
Oh, what? Tagged. Whoa! Boobies? What the fuck?
Boobies immediately?
And they're, like, frighteningly large. Yacht 7 5 months ago. Whoa, this game is potentially good. The body is quite oversized, but beggars can't be choosers. Hopefully this game gets updates soon. I want Kogaza sex. That's great, man.